Have you ever loved someone so much that you chose total silence just to keep them safe? Most people believe that silence means a lack of words, but sometimes silence is the heaviest emotional weight a human heart can carry. Stay with me until the very end of this story, because when the final page of his secret journal is opened, it will change the way you understand human devotion forever. As always, listen carefully to improve your English listening, learn rich vocabulary, and feel the natural rhythm of the language. Let's begin. In a quiet coastal town, there lived a young painter named Julian. Julian was not always quiet. In his early 20s, he was full of life, laughter, and endless conversations. But after a tragic stormy night 5 years ago, Julian stopped speaking completely. He didn't utter a single word to his neighbors, his friends, or even the doctors who examined him. People in town assumed that the trauma of that night had stolen his voice forever. He lived alone in a small wooden house near the ocean, painting breathtaking landscapes and living in absolute solitude. The only person who still cared for him was Maya. Maya had been Julian's closest childhood friend. She brought him groceries every week, sat beside him on his porch, and spoke to him gently, even though he only replied with small nods or warm, sad smiles. Maya believed that deep down, Julian was still in there, trapped inside his own mind. One rainy afternoon, while Julian was outside in his shed working on a canvas, Maya was cleaning his living room. While moving a stack of old art books near the fireplace, a heavy, leather-bound notebook fell onto the floor. It was Julian's personal journal, 5 years of daily entries written in his precise, neat handwriting. Maya knew she shouldn't invade his privacy, but a deep feeling told her that the truth about his 5-year silence was hidden inside those pages. With trembling hands, she opened the journal to the very first page, dated the exact night Julian lost his voice. What she read made her breath catch in her throat. On that fateful, stormy night 5 years ago, Julian had discovered a devastating reality. He had overheard a private conversation involving a dangerous mistake made by someone Maya deeply loved. A mistake that could have destroyed Maya's entire family and ruined her future forever. But the people responsible warned Julian that if he ever spoke a single word about what he heard, they would frame Maya and ensure her life was ruined. Instead of fighting them with words, Julian made a silent vow. He wrote in his journal, "If my voice can bring destruction to the person I care about most, then I will bury my voice forever. My silence is her safety." Page after page, year after year, Julian had documented his daily struggle. He wrote about the agonizing pain of wanting to talk to Maya, wanting to laugh with her, and wanting to tell her how much he loved her. Yet, every single day for 5 straight years, he chose absolute silence, bearing the weight of a secret alone in the dark just to protect her light. Tears streamed down Maya's face as she turned to the very last page, written just yesterday. The final sentence read, "I may never speak again, but every painting I create is a silent letter of love to her." Just then, the front door opened. Julian stepped inside, soaking wet from the rain, holding a fresh canvas. He froze as he saw Maya standing near the fireplace, holding his open journal, tears streaming down her eyes. For 5 years, they had communicated in total silence. But in that single, powerful second, no words were needed. Maya walked across the room, wrapped her arms around him, and held him tightly. For the first time in 5 long years, Julian let out a deep, shaky breath, knowing that his burden was finally shared. Human behavior often tricks us into judging people by what they say or do on the outside, but the deepest sacrifices are often hidden behind complete silence. Real love doesn't demand attention or praise. Sometimes it suffers quietly in the shadows just to keep someone else safe. Never assume that a quiet person has nothing to say. Sometimes their silence is the most powerful story ever written. Keep practicing your English, keep reflecting on human emotions, and never forget that true understanding goes beyond words.